Before we get into the video, the other day I posted probably the best video I have ever made. It's a 1 hour and 14-minute long entire Cold War Zombie storyline video. And yeah, it pretty much explains everything, setting up the stage perfectly for Treyarch's next Zombies title. I will leave a link to it down in this video's description if you want to check it out. I would recommend grabbing some food and watching it on your TV for the best experience. I know a lot of you probably don't want to watch it all at once because it is so long, so instead you can watch it in parts so you don't have to watch it all in one sitting. It would be very much appreciated if you would check it out because I did put a lot of time and effort into it. Anyways, let's get into the video. Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and I know the Zombies community is in a very weird state right now with the release of Vanguard Zombies. A lot of people have kind of left the franchise. It's turned very toxic on Reddit and Twitter, but I think we have some good news for the future. Whilst Vanguard Zombies is probably just going to be a bit of a filler year where there's nothing too crazy released, I do think the sequel to Black Ops Cold War Zombies that's probably going to be released in 2023, Treyarch's next main title, is going to be a big one. For one, the storyline setup in Black Ops Cold War Zombies is insane. We know that Eddie, the director of Requiem, has been working on his secret project Janus. He is working with a secret uber-rich group. Samantha is now in the Dark Ether, potentially going to gain a lot of power. Eddie's son may potentially be Samuel, the boy who was burnt alive accidentally by Gregory Weaver. The Forsaken is captured, but we may be seeing the return of the Old Ones, which he previously consumed to get their abilities. There's been lots of teasers towards Atlantis, potentially even space, so I think there's a lot for Treyarch to work with here for something huge with the sequel. And I think Treyarch have done a perfect job of rebooting the zombie storyline whilst keeping things familiar to us and allowing it to be easier to follow for fans. They've given us lots of information already, but we still have lots of questions to ask, and it's not really too overly confusing like the Ether story. So the other day, Mr. T-Lexify posted on Twitter there's a serious chance that zombies will never return in a Call of Duty game at this point, to which Kevin Drew, the lead game designer at Treyarch who worked on Cold War Zombies, replied with this question mark gif, being like, what the hell are you on about? Come on, Zombies is coming back. I do understand where Lex is coming from though. I think a lot of people are worried that after Vanguard Zombies, Activision may just cut Zombies entirely because it's been so poorly received. I don't think they're going to do that though. I do worry that budget may be cut for the next Zombies title just because this Zombies has been so poorly received, but I hope that Activision can acknowledge that the reason why it's been poorly received is because it was a rush mode made in a short amount of time that wasn't given the resources and development time to produce a good mode, so obviously it's not going to be well received. If they were to provide a lot more resources and time, Vanguard Zombies would be a completely different story. But the main thing I want to talk about in this video is that one of Treyarch's main game designers has been alluding to big things coming in their next Zombies game. But before I get into that, everyone is pulling out their hair because of Vanguard Zombies, and that sets up the stage perfectly for the sponsor of this video. 95% of my audience are men, and did you know that 2/3 of men experience male pattern baldness by age 35? Even if you are not balding yet, it's good to get ahead of the curve to prevent hair loss early. The best way is to start whilst you still have hair left, and that's why I want to thank today's sponsor, Keeps. With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right hair loss treatment plan specifically suited for you. Whether you are looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of your hair, you are guided with 24/7 support from doctors, medical advisors, and care specialists that you can message with any questions or concerns you may have along the way. You can even track your progress with the progress tracking tool. Keeps is also very affordable as it offers generic versions of all FDA approved applications and medications for hair loss, and as he said, prevention is key, so it's important to act fast. Get quality expert care without ever needing to visit a doctor's office or pharmacy at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. In addition to clinically proven treatments, Keeps has an award-winning all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system. Their treatment plan typically takes 6 months to start seeing results, so the sooner you act, the more hair you can save, but of course everyone's unique, so yeah, check them out and find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors and why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps as their hair loss prevention tool. You can do so and take action to prevent hair loss immediately and get a 50% off discount on your first order by heading to keeps.com/thegamingrevolution, or you can simply click the link in the description below to start protecting your hair today. So bringing it back to what I want to discuss today, this all started when Cherry Gamer posted on Twitter her Cold War above Black Ops 3, referring to just zombies, I believe. She said in her opinion, Black Ops 3's production was incredible, no doubt about it, the zombies maps we got were insane, but Cold War just hits the exact gameplay and story beats that makes me want to play. Collecting a new soul, every map plagued with inaccessibility isn't my cup of tea. She then said, I played Shadows of Evil and didn't like it, so still to this day I haven't bought the season pass. I game shared to try stuff out and bought Chronicles on release, which on nostalgia alone won me over, but I actually only bought Gorod Krovi earlier this month. And yeah, I kind of share a similar opinion to her, not really exactly. I put Black Ops 3 zombies and Cold War zombies pretty equal. I personally think that Cold War zombies just far exceeds Black Ops 3 zombies just in terms of gameplay. And yeah, I don't know why, but there's this weird mob of Twitter weirdos when anytime you say you like Cold War zombies or prefer it to Black Ops 3 zombies, you are just bombarded with people hating and making meme videos, and it's just like, go play the game you want to play. Like, Black Ops 3 is still available, go play it, have your fun. You've got plenty of custom zombies to play. Why does someone liking Cold War zombies affect your experience? It doesn't. But yeah, whilst I think that Cold War zombies' gameplay is really good, I also think the storyline is really good. I just think that the intel is way too overwhelming for most fans to delve into. But I really like Outbreak. I do think that it needs a lot of improvements, but it was a very good start. I think Black Ops 3's gameplay is just inferior. It just takes too long to do stuff. Sometimes I just want to jump on zombies and I don't want to do a million tasks. If Treyarch want to make things more in depth, they should do that in the form of side Easter eggs. Those can be the more complex things, but the core gameplay mechanics like Pack-a-Punch and getting the wonder weapons and stuff should just be easy to do. And I think at times in Black Ops 3 things were just a bit too overcomplicated. Don't get me wrong, I loved it at the time, but you have to bear in mind that Treyarch are trying to get the most amount of fans to play the game. And if people have to watch a million different YouTube videos just to figure out how to get set up on the map, it's not going to make them want to play the maps often. I played Black Ops 3 religiously throughout its life cycle. I've played it a ton. I've played Black Ops Cold War a ton. I think I've probably played Black Ops 3 more even, just because, you know, it had Zombies Chronicles and stuff like that. Obviously, it's been out for longer since then too. It has custom zombies as well, which is great, but I just put Cold War and Black Ops 3 pretty equal, just because I think Black Ops Cold War is a better game to just play, and there's just more to do now that there's good camo grinds, as well as the fact that there's cross progression, cross battle pass progression between multiplayer and Warzone. Black Ops 3 was certainly better in terms of the atmospheric atmosphere, in terms of a lot of the cinematic elements, and it made you feel more immersed and into the maps. Yes, Black Ops Cold War doesn't really exceed that well in that degree, but I think it's something that in future games we will see more atmospheric locations that are more akin to what we saw in Black Ops 3 and even the Chaos storyline in Black Ops 4 Zombies. And I think they'll strike a good balance between having good gameplay, good game systems, as well as also having good side stuff to do for those people that like more in-depth stuff. But yeah, I don't really agree with Cherry on not liking Shadows of Evil. I personally didn't like it on launch either, because I did find it too complex to just get the Pack-a-Punch and stuff like that, but a few months after launch they patched Shadows of Evil, so now it's way easier to just jump into and play, and it's actually one of my favorite maps now, if not my favorite, just because I love the atmosphere so much. But the thing is, I'm not going to play Shadows of Evil every day. It's one of those maps I go back to every now and again and have an amazing time, but come on, I'm not just doing the Pack-a-Punch rituals every single day, whereas I can hop on D Machine and just go ahead and kill zombies instantly and I don't really have to worry about anything, and that is why Black Ops Cold War just becomes more replayable for the average audience. Anyways, went off on a big tangent here. What I wanted to talk about is what Mark, the lead game designer over at Treyarch, replied to this post about, because she was getting a lot of hate on this. Well, like I said, there's a bunch of people that just hate anytime someone says Black Ops Cold War Zombies is good. He said, what didn't you like about Shadows of Evil? You've got to love the dancing little Annie Easter egg though, and I love that Easter egg. I posted a guide on it way back in the day when I did it, and I think that is still one of the best Easter eggs. I think it's one of the first Easter eggs that was more tongue-in-cheek that Treyarch did. In Black Ops 3 they started doing more tongue-in-cheek Easter eggs. I don't remember in the past if they did any kind of tongue-in-cheek Easter eggs like that. Maybe I'm just forgetting things, I probably am. But yeah, the Annie is just so cute. He said, I highly recommend Gorod Krovi. I was also the lead design point on it. The others were also great maps, although your mileage may vary. Drak was widely loved. So in terms of Gorod Krovi, I like this map as well. I don't like it as much as everyone else says, but I think it's a very in-depth map. There's tons of side Easter eggs. I think aesthetically though, especially on console, it kind of suffers just because loads of textures don't load in and stuff, and I don't know, because there was just so much on the map, I guess it was just difficult for them to get things running on that map on console. On PC it looks fine, but yeah, I do like Gorod Krovi. I just think it kind of feels like kind of a bit clustered at times, and yeah, I don't really know if that's the best description, but that's just kind of my best way I can articulate it. Joey said, Shadows has grown on me and I love the aesthetic, and yes, even Arnie, just Shadows wasn't great for casual play players. The rituals were a big off-putting factor on launch. I think they got better with updates though. I'm just a player that enjoys being able to start a game and blast hordes. It's why I love Cold War's direction so much. Ammo boxes, trial machines, easy pack-a-punch, score streaks. Hell, I even loved Onslaught on launch. Even before its glow up, I could just finish work and chill out getting lost in the game. And yeah, I kind of agree to an extent. I do like some of the complex things, but I think, you know, it just got tiresome when you were just having so many things to do every single map. And I know not everyone agrees with me, but that's just how I personally felt, and I agree with her. I love Onslaught as well. Even on launch, it wasn't that bad. People were saying it was absolutely awful on launch. It wasn't that great on launch, but it was still fun. Then they made it way better with updates, and I think Onslaught is probably the best side mode we've ever gotten in zombies before. Super replayable and super fun. She said Origins is probably the only exception to the rule because that blew my mind. And yeah, I kind of agree. Origins was just such a cinematic and a big point in the zombie storyline where things just went nuts with the children in the house. And I think the overcomplicatedness kind of worked with that map just because it was the climax of Black Ops 2. It was at a very high point in the zombies community, and I think it all just culminated together well, but I wouldn't really want to see maps that complex again. Like I said, if you're going to do complex stuff, have them be side stuff. That's not really the main gameplay loop. She said, I love Origins, I think because of that too. The bows were so much fun. So Horizon Drac is basically just a simpler version of Origins. It's a lot easier to get the bows, it's a lot easier to get set up, and it flows really well. The Easter egg flows really well, everything just flows really well. I just said that so many times. She said Grod was too difficult, there's a reason it's the only map without round 255, the only 100 I had to use Megas for. And yeah, Grod Crovey was a very hard map. The Ray Gun Mark III was really good, but then it would cap off at a low round. It was really fun to use though, but I don't play zombies for high rounds anyway, so I don't really care too much about that. He then said, yeah, Shadows of Evil's Pack-a-Punch quest was a little bit too complicated for a launch map, and yeah, that's a big problem because I think a lot of people would have played the DLC in Black Ops 3 Zombies more if, for example, Horizon Drac was the launch map, because I think that was the perfect map for new players to jump into. At least we had the Giant though, and that was good for fans, but you had to buy the season pass for that, or buy it separately. Shadows of Evil being so complex was just not good for a launch map though. He said it's a big reason why the Pack-a-Punch quest tended to be easier for all of the future maps after that. Grod Crovey was designed to be harder, to make kiting more challenging than just running tight circles. It did have the holdout areas too though, but needs 4. Phantom Eye said, good to have variety right, smaller more simple maps like the Giant, bigger more complex experiences like Origins, and in-betweeners like Horizon Drac. He said, yes, we tried to create a variety of maps each game in terms of difficulty and style. And I think they kind of should have done that a bit more in Black Ops Cold War. The maps kind of did become a little bit samey. Like, they were different to each other, don't get me wrong, but they did have the general same feel. And we didn't have maps like the Giant in Black Ops Cold War Zombies. There wasn't any maps that were just survival maps, you know, just small little areas with not really much to them. I guess D Machine was kind of like that because it was so simple, but yeah, there was nothing really complex in Black Ops Cold War Zombies as a whole though. So Sky replied saying, I'm curious, Mark, when the team makes these maps, you guys before release think this one is going to be a classic, or are you often surprised about how maps are ranked? For example, with a map as revolutionary and innovative as Origins, surely you guys had a feeling it would be loved. He said, when I'm making a map, I'm always trying to make it as best as it can be, given the time and resources. Sometimes you can be too close to it to know. You always hope it will be received well, but it can be hard to tell how the public will react. You always hear the same thing when actors talk about their TV shows or movies. Often my memory of a project is the process to get it to ship. What the public doesn't see are the daily decisions and changes that are constantly shaping it. We don't always like the decisions we make at the start. Sometimes it doesn't play out like it did in your head. Sometimes it never will, and you need to course correct. Our heads have a perfect scenario, free of the problems that need to be dealt with. When the map ships, it hopefully isn't in a big state of flux, but it really is just a moment frozen in time. Sometimes a thing will change 2 weeks before ship, but I only remember the way it was for the last 3 months. Everyone else sees the way it shipped. Origins was the one that pushed every department to their limits. It was a lot of crazy ideas that we managed to get to work, and I'm thankful for everyone that worked late and hard to make it awesome. I feel like back then when they were making Origins though, the Zombies team and the people they had working on Zombies was a lot larger. I think it is very obvious the Zombies team is a lot smaller now, and you know, that's what people worry about for the future of Zombies. Are they going to get more resources into Zombies? Are they going to get more employees working on it too? Obviously, it's not always a good thing to get more employees because you don't want to have too many people working on something, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen. But I would like to see a bit more depth to the maps like Black Ops 3 and even Black Ops 4 maps got. I think Forsaken had more depth than the other maps we had in Cold War Zombies, and that was a good start, I think. But yeah, developers never really know how the community is exactly going to react. They're just trying different things and seeing how it plays out. Sky said, super interesting. Leading on from that, Black Ops 3 as a whole, which is widely regarded as the best Zombies, does the team at Treyarch reciprocate that feeling and and recognize why the game was so loved. Because I'm sure when you are putting blood, sweat and tears into these games, the team's perspective may be different. Like, was it simply with Black Ops 3 that the stars just aligned? Pre-Battle Royale era, a 3-year wait for Treyarch Zombies since Black Ops 2, and with seemingly huge funding support throughout the whole season in ways of cinematic trailers, DLC 5, huge marketing campaigns, content creator events, introduction of boss fights, cutscenes and so much more. It's a multi-layered question, but essentially, was BO3 Zombies' success believed to be the result of a perfect formula, or is it hard to pinpoint exactly what went so right? He said at the time Black Ops 3 got as much love/hate as anything else. People said Shadows of Evil was too complicated, Horizon Drac was great, Zetsubo no Shima wasn't loved, and by the way, I just want to say I love Zetsubo no Shima. It is overcomplicated, but I just love the atmosphere of that map, and I can play it a lot. Once again, it's a map that I wouldn't play daily, like Shadows of Evil, but it's a map I can hop on every now and again and have a lot of fun. I really do think it has one of the best atmospheres. And atmosphere is a big part of Zombies for me. Even though it does take so long to get set up, I just kind of like it, to be honest, which is controversial. I've liked it literally since release. I've never not liked Zetsubo. You know, there was a time when I didn't like Shadows, but then it grew on me. But I've liked every other map in Black Ops 3. You know, I would even put Zetsubo above Gorod Krovi, I think. I think Gorod Krovi has better designs, but there's just something about Zetsubo. I just like it. He said the community said too much was reused in Revelations, only one new perk in the DLC, I could go on, etc. Many things were unique for almost every map, including locations, hoods, mystery boxes, pack-a-punch machines, etc. Then we had Zombies Chronicles, plus there's the nostalgia of old characters interacting with the new. It was a perfect storm that's unlikely to be duplicated for many reasons. What we can do is try to make a new thing that's great in a different way instead of chasing something that's too similar to a previous one, and that in of itself would end up being called a negative too. We are planning great things, you will just have to wait and see. So there is the big thing that this whole video has been created for. Big things are coming to COD Zombies, and that sounds like confidence, and we need confidence from these developers, and it is great to see the developers interacting with the community because we used to never get any of this back in the day, and it's good to see them now interacting with the community. It helps give us perspective on things, but yeah, what are those big things to come? I don't know, we will just have to wait and see, but I am so excited for Treyarch's next title. I'm kind of just writing Vanguard Zombies off at this point and just looking forward to the future game, which I think they will be putting a lot more developers and resources into and a lot more care into. Not that they're not putting care into Vanguard Zombies, but just that I think that it's not really been given many resources to flourish. But yeah, basically he was saying that Black Ops 3 did get a lot of hate when it was the main Call of Duty game. There were lots of things that people hated that now they look back on fondly, and I think people forget that. Yes, I understand that the Zombies community is way different to it was in Black Ops 3. It was way more wholesome back then, but a lot of us have grown up and times have just changed, and things just aren't the same ever since Black Ops 4. You know, a lot of toxicity arose then, and it's never really gone away. There was toxicity back then too, but I think the community was more so an actual community, whereas now I feel like the Zombies community has broken off into small little pockets, but you have to bear in mind the online Zombies community is just a small community anyways. Most players who play Zombies don't even hop on social media to talk about it, and that is something that a lot of us forget because we are trapped in a bubble online. So whilst there's all these people arguing online over things they like or dislike, for the average player, that doesn't even really exist. They're not participating in that. But yeah, Treyarch is saying that they are trying to do something unique. They are not just trying to trace what they did with Black Ops 3 and try and recreate it, because it wouldn't work. You can't recreate something that's already happened. It will just never happen. So they are not trying to chase old highs, but they are trying to create new highs. And I hope that is what we will see in the next game. Anyways, just a quick reminder that this video has been kindly sponsored by Keeps. If you want to get a 50% discount, check out the link in this video's description to help prevent balding. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.